1. I've always been a skeptic. Ghost stories held no weight for me, and paranormal experiences were mere coincidences waiting to be explained. That belief remained unshaken until the unnerving events that unfolded within the walls of my new apartment, mere blocks from the bustling campus life. Initially, the building felt comforting, a haven of peace amidst the academic chaos. The neighbors were friendly, the building well-maintained, and the silence at night almost comforting. However, that tranquility soon disintegrated, replaced by an unsettling sense of unease that crept in like a chill on a summer night. It began subtly with faint noises at night, a creaking floorboard, a muffled thump from the ceiling above, the rustling of leaves against the window. I dismissed them as the natural settling of the old building or my imagination playing tricks in the quiet hours. But then, the footsteps began. Each night, around 2:30 a.m., the distinctive sound would echo through the apartment. Heavy, deliberate steps pacing back and forth above, so clear and distinct that I could almost feel the vibrations beneath my feet. At first, I assumed it was my upstairs neighbor, a late-night wanderer, perhaps. One sunny afternoon, I bumped into him at the gym. Hoping to quell the growing unease within, I casually brought up the noise. His surprised expression quickly turned to confusion. He claimed to be asleep by that time, and when awake, he rarely walked around to avoid disturbing his young children. He also mentioned never hearing any such sounds in his apartment. His words chilled me to the bone. If it wasn't him, then who was it? What unseen entity haunted my nights with its chilling presence? The paranoia intensified. The nights were spent huddled in my dimly lit living room, eyes glued to the ceiling, ears straining for the slightest sound. Sleep became a distant memory, replaced by a constant state of heightened alert. The footsteps became an unwelcome companion, a terrifying reminder of the unseen world that lurked just beyond my reach. Finally, when the fear became unbearable, I made a desperate decision. As soon as I could afford it, I packed my belongings and fled the apartment, leaving the footsteps and their source behind. Even now, years later, the memory of those cold, deliberate paces sends shivers down my spine. It stands as a stark reminder of the night I encountered the unknown, the night my skepticism was shattered, and I learned that sometimes the most terrifying things are the ones we can't see or explain. 2. It was 3:15 a.m. the night before my exams, and sleep was a distant dream. The looming pressure of the tests had me glued to a mountain of textbooks in the living room. My bedroom door was ajar, its opening framed by the faint glow of the hallway light. Normally, the slightest breeze whipping through the open windows would send the door slamming shut. But that night, the air was still, the only sound the rhythmic scratch of my pen across paper. Suddenly, a sound broke the silence. The bedroom door, with a slow, deliberate movement, began to close. At first, I dismissed it. A trick of the wind, perhaps, or a product of my sleep-deprived mind. But as the door creaked shut, the hair on my arms rose with a prickling sensation. What if it wasn't the wind? A shiver ran down my spine. I looked around the unfamiliar shadows of the living room, searching for any sign of movement, any explanation for the inexplicable closure. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat echoing the rising fear. Taking a deep breath, I slowly rose from my chair, every muscle taut with tension. My hand trembled as I reached for the doorknob. With a creak that seemed to amplify the silence, the door opened. My eyes darted across the room, searching for any sign of movement, any explanation for the inexplicable. But the room was empty, bathed in the soft glow of the nightlight, offering no solace to my racing heart. In the days following, the incident replayed itself in my mind, a chilling loop that refused to be silenced. The unanswered question, "What closed the door?" echoed through my thoughts, leaving me with a lingering sense of unease. To this day, the reason for the door's movement remains a mystery. Was it a mere draft, a trick of the mind fueled by exam stress, or something more? Perhaps the answer lies hidden within the shadows, waiting to be unveiled at the most unexpected moment. But for now, I am left with the unsettling memory of a door closing on its own, a chilling reminder that sometimes the unexplained remains just that, unexplained. 3. So, one night, I came home late after a brutal shift at work. I was tired as a dog, soaked to the bone from the rain, and all I wanted was a hot shower. I stepped into the bathroom, flipped on the shower, and boom! Just as I was about to step in, something pushed me back, hard. I almost went flying into the floor, man. I freaked out, obviously. My heart raced, adrenaline pumped. I looked around, expecting to see something, anything. But nope, nothing. Just the shower curtain hanging limp and the bathroom empty. Now, part of me wanted to believe it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. I was exhausted after all. But the other part of me, the part that was still trembling, knew it wasn't. I felt it. It was real. And then, out of the blue, bam! This loud bang came from outside the bathroom. My grip tightened on the shower curtain, fear choking me. Had something followed me home? Was it out there waiting for me? Adrenaline kicked in again, and I knew I had to find out what the heck was going on. I inched towards the door, hand shaking like a leaf. I opened it slowly, expecting the worst, but the hallway was empty. Just the rain drumming on the windows and the silence that was somehow even more terrifying than the noise. Relief washed over me, but it was short-lived. Because even though nothing was there, the feeling of unseen eyes watching me, of being pushed back in the shower, it all stayed with me. And now, every time I step into that shower, the memories still come flooding back. The fear, the confusion, the sheer helplessness. But nothing has happened ever since. The silence has become a strange companion, almost as unsettling as the shove itself. It leaves me wondering if the push was a one-time event, a bizarre figment of exhaustion, or if something is still out there, waiting in the shadows for its next opportunity. The uncertainty hangs heavy, making every shower a small test of courage, a battle against my own lingering fear. Yet, with each passing day, the terror gradually fades, replaced by a cautious hope that maybe, just maybe, whatever happened that night was a singular event, a haunting memory in a now peaceful home.